Hey, beautiful friends. Welcome to Dearly Not So Departed podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you are well and having a very joyful experience. Today, I want to talk more about messages and signs from our dearly not so departed loved ones. And this is something that's been very present, very front and center for me, especially since my husband made his transition in December of 2007. And I'm going to start off with that. When he made his transition in December of 2007, um, his memorial service was about a week later, and we were at the funeral home that we had chosen. And it was about a week, 10 days before Christmas. And in the lobby, after the memorial service was over, we formed a reception line in the funeral home lobby. And they had a gorgeous Christmas tree displayed. And there were these little curly Q things that were gold, the little silver and gold curly Q things sticking out of the tree. It was part of the decor. And I'm standing there and I have on a dress and I'm feeling like, whoa, seems to be getting a lot of air back there. I was hoping that my dress wasn't tucked into um, my undergarments, which it wasn't. But so I look back and I see one of these little curlicue things going up my dress. So I chuckled because I knew that again, my dearly not so departed husband he was always playful. He was like a man child, and he was always making me laugh and cutting up and making jokes. And that's one of the ways that we were so good together, was because we both like to be happy and to feel our joy. And so then it was about a week later. So now it's just a few days before Christmas. And I continued our tradition. Normally, a few days before Christmas on the weekend, we would have a tradition where we would cook instead of traditional, because I'm such a non-traditional person. Um, we would have a traditional, our little, my twist on a traditional Christmas was you would have like barbecue and stuff, and we would have my mom and my stepdad and my brothers and their families would come to our house, and we would have a wonderful meal, and we played games, and it was just a really, really joyful time. So, but I made the decision to carry on that year. I had the choice about I could not do it, but I was called to go ahead and go through with it and uh, just carry on as normal, because I knew that's what he would want me to do. He did not want me to mope around and be sad or be just unhappy. That was not. I knew that, so I made the decision to go forward with it. And so I went outside because we had a house full of people and everybody had been there all day, and we had been having a good time. But it was, even though it was wintertime, it was December. I went outside to get some air on my back porch, and we had a beautiful pool. And that was one of our pride and joys, was for my husband and I, is our beautiful swimming pool. And he took care of the pool. I laughed and aptly named him the Cabana Boy, and he graciously accepted that role. But he took care of the pool, and I really didn't know much about it. So I went outside, and of course the temps were hovering probably around 30 degrees, which is below Fahrenheit, which is below freezing here in the United States. And so the pool was making this funny sound. And of course, it was dark outside, and I don't think I had the pool lights on. And I heard it wasn't necessarily his voice, but I knew it was him, because again, these things come to me, and it's hard to describe, but I heard the words, the pool needs water. In other words, it had fallen, there was a certain level that you weren't supposed to let it get below. And just through the natural course of nature, the water would evaporate. And of course, I had been focused on other things for a hot minute. So, but I heard this guidance telling me in the morning, first thing, to put some water in the pool, which I did. But that was, those were the kind of the first two really clear communications that I had after he made his transition. And of course, again, these things bring me great joy. And I just can't say enough that they are always there with us. They are always here to be playful with us, to love and support us. Even if we're not feeling, maybe we're feeling a little bit down. Fast forward a few years later, I think it was like December of 2016, and it was Christmas Day, and I had plans to join a friend and her family. They were all going to a bowling alley. We were going bowling on Christmas Day, which, I thought was a cool idea. And so I just gotten up, I was just getting going. And I was listening, I don't know, maybe I had on some music. I don't remember. Again, music really speaks to me. So all of a sudden, somehow I got on Simon and Garfunkel's Bridge Over Troubled Water. Or maybe it just, sometimes these songs will just pop in my head. And so that is my indicator to go. Then I want to know more. I want to Google the lyrics, and I want to see what the words, I want to read what the words say. And maybe that's what it was, that the song popped into my head, and that's what it was. And so I Googled the song, and I picked one with lyrics on YouTube, and I listened to the song, and I just started boohooing and just crying because, and it was truly tears of joy when I read the words to that song. And it never ceases to amaze me how they can get our attention and point us in a direction. Basically, what that gift to me was, and it felt like that was probably a gift from that was communication from my mother. Sometimes I know very clearly who the communication is from, and sometimes I don't. And the truth of the matter is, once we are back into our non-physical, pure positive energy state, it's all just kind of like a big mashup of energy. So it's not like they're individuals, it's just their combined energy, but they can step forward and they can make their individual presence known, but it's not like it is when they inhabited their physical body. And so that was just one of the sweetest memories, because right at that moment in time, it felt like a hug from non-physical. And that's another thing that I've done many times is, maybe I just am wanting to feel a hug, and maybe there's no one around to give me a hug. So I just, quickly take a few deep breaths and close my eyes and just, reach out to them, hey, I would love to feel a non-physical hug. And I guarantee you're going to feel some energy. You're going to feel, it's not like a human hugging you, but it is an incredible gift and an incredible experience. And so those are a couple of my most amazing memories. Another one, my mother, this was in 2013. I had driven back to Texas for my niece's wedding. And that was fun to spend a couple of days. I think I was there 3 days total, 2 travel days. And so I was spending some time with my family and celebrating my niece's wedding. And which was so much fun. And I even joked with my mother that I was thinking about moving back to Texas, which of course she would have loved. But I don't, I don't know. At that point in time, it just seemed like the right thing to say. And it was kind of on my mind, but I drove back and went back to Colorado, and I didn't take any action on that because I didn't feel the call or the impulse to do so. So a couple of months later, that was in June. It wasn't even a couple of months. It was like a month later, I had a conversation with a friend of mine who her and her husband had just bought a beautiful home there in Colorado. And so I had a conversation with her, and I said, like, give me your lender's contact information. I want to talk to them. And because it was funny, but at that time I had lived in Colorado for 5 years, and I had never had any desire to own property while I was there. But for some odd reason, so it was interesting the way this manifested, because while I thought for just a brief passing moment that I was going to head back to Texas, I ended up buying a townhouse in Colorado. And it was one of the most incredible decisions I've ever made. It was a very profitable decision for me. And it just turned out to be such a blessing in disguise. And there were some hiccups and some hurdles that I had to overcome to get the property. I found out the money for my down payment I was going to take out of my 401k. But at the last minute, I found out that the company, it was a very small company that I worked for. They had like 25 employees, and their 401k plan wasn't set up where you could take out a loan. So the only way I could get my loan was if I quit my job, and then I could withdraw the money, but I had no access to the money. So, and that's what I was counting on all along for my down payment. So, I was heartbroken. And so I had to talk to my realtor, and he had to contact the other party, the sellers, and tell them what was up. And these people were so amazing that they agreed to cover some of my closing costs. And then there was a program that through the state of Colorado, that I just barely qualified for. My income was just at the top level, but it helped me with the down payment. So I was able, and these people that were selling this townhouse really wanted me to have it. And it was the perfect place. It was a beautiful place. It was on a corner lot. It was right across the street from a city park. And it was amazing. But, here we are at the last minute. We're supposed to close, I don't know, in about 3 weeks or something. And I find out that I can't get my money out from my 401k. But, everything worked out, and that the townhouse was supposed to be mine. And it was so amazing and so wonderful how all of it happened. And, sure enough, a few weeks later, I closed on the townhouse, and the townhouse was mine. And it was, like I say, it was one of the most amazing decisions I ever made, because it was just a good place for me to be. And I loved that. And so, but I'm telling you, and I have no doubt, there's no doubt in my mind that my dearly not so departed loved ones, and AKA my spiritual team, was all over that. They were there to assist me and to work behind the scenes to get all the pieces in place for this to happen. And it was a true gift and a true blessing, and something that it really is it's a priceless gift. you just can't put a monetary value on this stuff. And I can't make this stuff up because it's just the way that this works for me in my life. And I hope that you have examples and ways of sharing and ways of connecting with your dearly not so departed loved ones. And I hope that those connections really bring you such a sense of this unconditional love that they feel for us, and just brings you joy, because that's truly what they want for us. They want for us to be happy and to live our best lives and to thrive and to just live life to the fullest, and to, live fearlessly, to just go for it, follow your dreams, follow your heart, and just be kind and loving. But anyways, thank you so much. Until next time, bye.